strong.
Hi, and welcome to Funny Minds. I am your host, Lynn B., and I have my crazy, insane co-host with me,
Edward Biss. Hello.
Edward Biss. And today
Hey.
we have on Chase Markoff, he is the CEO of Weird Films, and he is weird himself, but he has a lot of things in the fire
I do
here.
not
Yes,
believe
he's
that
a
at
weirdo.
all.
He is, and that's great to have him on our show. We're really excited. But, he also is in, and I don't really remember seeing you. He's got a character in Law and Order, Scratch.
It's
Is that what
true.
which Law and Order is it?
So I'm on the original Law and Order. This
Okay.
new season. I'm on episode 2, and I play Scratch.
Okay. I'll have to go back and look
it was an
because
honor to be on Law and Order. I was super psyched to be on that show. It's just been around forever, and so many amazing actors have gone through Law and Order.
I know.
Yeah, and the cast, they were so nice, and it was such an amazing experience.
I've heard that from like some other people who've been on the different Law and Orders, how great they get treated and how wonderful the show is. Blue Bloods and stuff too. Like it seems like the people that do the stuff in New York seem to be very accommodating. I don't know. I hate to think that it's only a New York thing. I'm sure it's other places, but I do hear a lot of good things about filming in New York.
Yeah, and Law and Order is a mainstay, for New York filmmaking.
Yes.
It's so important that we just keep making Law and Order, because the show means a lot to a lot of people. There's big fans. There's a whole Law and Order universe, they call it, with all the different crossovers and different shows that have emerged. It's been so great for the filmmaking and acting community,
I was just saying that, sometimes when they change a character, like it's hard to get into the new character that they bring on. But in the Law and Order throughout the years, and I've watched it from the very beginning, all the different characters just melded and it just brought it forward, and it just did it in a really, really good way. And you just fell in love with them, the character,
It's true. And I don't know how much you guys know, but have you ever watched like a video on all the different stars that got their first part on Law and Order?
No, not really.
Hoffman was on the show. Literally Timothy Chalamet had his role on Law and Order. I could go on and on.
There's just so many people. It's been on so long.
So long, and they give so many people their first shot. Their first break is on Law and Order. So cool.
So
and you're also a producer, a screenwriter.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm a filmmaker as well as an actor, but acting is my heart. I got into filmmaking because I'm just kind of that kind of person that I can't sit on my hands, as an actor and wait for my next part. I want to make things that people like. And so I started Weird Films, a production company, and we specialize in creating positive content. And we embrace this idea of weird being original, and how we need more originality in film, like in the 80s and the 90s and the different eras of filmmaking. It was a lot more like rolling the dice, and we don't know if this is going to be successful, but we think that people are going to love this concept for a movie. So we're going to put money into it. We're going to see what happens. Things were a lot more risky back then, Now there's so many remakes of the same thing. So, and me as a viewer, movies and TV shows have meant so much to me in my life, have comforted me when I really needed it. So I'm on this mission to kind of create fun, awesome, positive films that do that for a new generation, that are original, that aren't a remake,
Okay.
How was your experience at NYU, the Tisch?
Yeah, it's a fast
experience.
It's a fast moving place, There's really not a school quite like it because it's in New York City, and it's fast paced. It's a little bit of a rat race, but
that's for sure.
There's just like a lot of pieces and everyone's doing their own thing, and it's not like, a more traditional community. But I had such great acting training there. I really developed as an artist. And one thing about NYU is I saw myself not just as an actor, but as a storyteller, that I could put the pieces together and act in movies that I put together and I created by getting my friends together. That was a big thing I learned, to think of myself as like a doer and not someone who's just looking for his next opportunity.
Well, I would say overall, you want to be about as well-rounded as possible.
Yeah.
And I think your journey is pretty much there. I mean, from making films, writing, being, acting, storytelling, it's a full circle journey, but it makes you well-rounded. So you could step into any aspect and really create that for yourself.
Yeah, I think it's so important to be well-rounded in any artistic industry, because there's no clear path to how to make it. I wish there was, but for actors and things like that, there's really not a clear path. So
no, there isn't.
You have to be multifaceted and pave your own way. Like it's like you have a pickaxe and you're trying to get to something, and you just keep picking away. But but you love it when you do it, and I love it.
Yeah.
So I can't do anything else, and I'm really passionate about it. So I keep picking away. You got to love the picking. The picking of the axe. Just keep chipping away. And
well, you got the passion.
What is the new project that you're working on right now, Chase?
Thanks for asking, Leanne. So I'm actually working on this project that I've been working on for 5 years.
Whoa.
It's Area 51 Love Raid. It's a rom-com, and it's inspired by this viral Facebook page. I'm not sure you guys remember, but in 2019, there was this viral Facebook page to storm Area 51.
I quasi-remember.
I kind of do.
Yeah.
All these news reporters and news networks were reporting on it. Like all of these people on the internet, they're saying they're going to go and raid Area 51.
Right.
And millions of people signed up. There was 1.4 billion internet impressions. It was like a viral moment, and then nothing really happened with it. Like a few people in the desert, a small music festival, but it kind of, it was like this larger than life thing that really didn't reach the imagination that people had talked about on the internet, the wilder, larger than life picture that millions had in their head for this event, to finally see the aliens and to raid Area 51. It's going to be so much fun. It didn't match up in reality. And I thought, as a filmmaker, I'm like, well, some things are better told in movies. That would be a great movie. What if I created a story about a kid who creates the Facebook page to impress this girl who he's had a crush on forever, who's obsessed with aliens, and then
that's perfect.
Like as a whim,
right?
He creates this Facebook page to storm Area 51, like trying to get her attention. He creates it anonymously, and then it goes viral the next day, like overnight. And all of a sudden, he finds himself on a road trip with Lulu, the girl he likes, and her wild brother Cosmo, and their uncle, who owns a comic book store, chaperones them to the desert to raid Area 51, and all these crazy things happen.
That's great.
Yeah,
honestly, I think that's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Did you get funding to do the movie, or is it self-funded? Or
so basically, I spent all of the pandemic redrafting it, writing it, and getting it ready, and then I put all my money into creating 6 minutes of filming 6 minutes of it as a proof of concept. And my plan was to then go to investors and try to get investment for the film. And I tried that for over a year, but I kind of ran out of steam with that. And it's really hard. I kept hitting brick walls with finding people, the investors in that way. So I kind of had this epiphany where I was like, this was inspired by people just going on the internet and, getting excited about an idea to raid Area 51, and then that inspiring me, right? So I thought maybe I should give this back to the people. I should create a Kickstarter and see if it's successful, and let the people decide whether this movie is made or not. So that's kind of my mission now. And I'm trying to kind of create this larger than life Kickstarter where I'm going to hopefully launch it and it goes to the moon. But it's a risk, I think I'm really excited to launch it. We're launching on April 17th on Kickstarter. And we have a brilliant cast that we attached for the proof of concept, who's going to join us in the feature film.
Okay.
And I'm really excited I've kind of put my dream cast together, and somehow it all came together.
Is it made up of people you've worked with, friends, a little bit
my
of both?
best friend is playing my best friend in the film. His name's Dylan Douglas, and he's an upcoming actor as well.
Okay.
And we have Brian Posehn, who from the Big
Brian
Bang.
Yeah.
Do you know the Big Bang? He played Bert on the Big Bang Theory. He was, even as a kid, I thought he was so brilliant.
Just a stand-up is great, he's
I know.
He's got the right mind for that.
Yeah, he's really such a talent, and it was so awesome working with him on that day. Like, it was such a special day, one day of filming.
Is he able to commit if you're able to get the money for this? Is he able to commit for you?
I'll work around him. We'll make it happen. We'll make sure it works.
There's always more than one way to skin a cat,
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I don't want to do it without Brian. And Brian is like, he was so everything, it was so awesome to work with Brian. It was really an honor, and it was so much fun. After the day of shooting, we went out for Chinese food, and it was so great. And
Chinese food in New York is the best.
It was awesome. It was really special. Yeah, and then me and Dylan, my co-star, we went and saw his stand-up when he came into New York like a year later. And I told him I'm still working on it. We're still trying to get it done and still trying to raise the money to make the full feature. So it's a process.
Okay.
But
and who's going to be Lulu?
So we have the Tony Award-winning Una Lawrence, who is playing Lulu.
I heard her name. I don't know where I heard her name.
Una was the original Matilda on Broadway. And that's
okay. All right.
Yeah. She won her Tony there. All four of the girls won Tonys at the time.
Okay. All right. I knew her name from something.
Yeah. And then she went on to do amazing projects like Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting on Netflix is really, it's this like fun Halloween movie. That's really where I discovered her. And then Big Time Adolescent, that had a huge cast in it. And Una worked with like Sydney Sweeney and Pete Davidson and all these Machine Gun Kelly, like all these big stars. So yeah, Una's really had an amazing career as really such a talent. So I'm really honored.
So you're really going to have a good cast in this.
Yeah.
If you can get the funding for it.
We're really going to have an awesome cast. I really want to create something that is fun and awesome, like your favorite 80s movie. What's your favorite 80s movies, guys? Like?
Well, you got to look at, and I just had this conversation the other day with somebody about the difference between the 80s and then post 80s as far as the comedy and how they were willing to take risks, whereas today, not so much. But Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Animal House, Porky's.
Yeah.
It's so Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's people might think, oh, well, it's just a fun comedy movie, so
No, it's more than that.
Do you know that Sean Penn's usage of the word dude in that movie really familiarized dude in the English, like in American culture? People say dude because he said it in the movie. And it's so powerful that one movie that becomes really popular all of a sudden makes this word dude like part of our language, And I think it's just awesome. It's so funny. I love when he orders the pizza.
Hot to class.
It's just so funny. Yeah.
Well, when you look at it and you look at the cast, like Mr. Hand and like just the actors and the actresses that were in that.
I love watching it, and then you'll see one guy who has like one line, and then you realize that guy's like a big actor. I don't know who is Nicolas Cage in it? No, right?
No, I think Judge Reinhold.
Yeah, there's a guy.
Judge Reinhold was great in it.
But there's I know there's a guy has one line in it, and you don't even know he's in it. It might be and he's goes on. Now he has this amazing career. I don't know who it is.
Who was the guy who was in the Crying Game? Not the lead actor, but the co-star.
Let me see. I got it.
He was in Fast Time, and he's a massive actor now. He was
Nicolas Cage was in it. Robert Ron.
He was in it.
Yes. Nicolas Cage.
Judge Reinhold was Brad Hamilton. Forrest Whitaker, Lena Clarkson, Nancy, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Phoebe Cates,
crush on her.
Becker.
Who didn't have a crush on her?
Wow. You see, that's it's a legendary cast, really.
Yeah, it's a who's who.
Ray Watson. I don't even remember Ray Watson being in that movie, but he was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, that is so cool. I really
Like
love
the cast is unbelievable. Their cast was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But we don't have, and you're right, we don't have that anymore. We need stuff like that. I mean, just that's the humor of it, the slapstick, silly, crazy humor of it,
And rom-com is a great way to go because I think there's more commonality. It brings people together quicker and easier, but you still have the freedom to kick it up a bunch of notches to really bring out that fun aspect of it and that comedic aspect and take some risks with those characters.
Have you reached out to anybody on LinkedIn that works with funding or trying to get people for funding or?
LinkedIn it's such an interesting resource. I've gotten the best. I have reached out to people. I reached out to everyone for like a year, basically trying to get the right, investors to talk to. And I hit a lot of brick walls and that I really couldn't climb over, the gates are pretty high, and I don't know, there's certain rooms where they green light things, but to get into those rooms, it's not an easy task.
It's tough. Yeah.
Sure.
But I'm optimistic, honestly, because I think
you have to be.
So many amazing films have been made for low budgets, by people bootstrapping and making it happen.
You know what? Stephen Mayer just made Lake George, and he did it on a Wing and a Prayer budget.
Oh, really?
And you might want to reach out to him and see what he says. He's on LinkedIn, but we had him on the show. He's a great guy. He really is.
Okay.
And and Lake George just ccame out, and they did it on a Wing and a Prayer. They didn't, it was tough.
It's tough. It's easier said than done. You got to stay persistent. You got to keep the belief. You obviously have the passion and you believe in it. You know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
You just want to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
And you don't want someone else stealing your idea either.
Well, that's true.
This will come out and you'll like, wait a minute.
Where that happens, but it's one of those, there's a lot of uncertainty in life. So we got to just kind of, but it has happened, unfortunately. But I like to think that people are more excited about their own ideas in some way. Like, but big companies, sometimes they hear a good idea, a good hook. They might incorporate it, rewrite it another way. And so, I do feel I let that be a kind of gives me a sense of urgency to get this and make it happen,
Okay.
And try and keep it true to form too. Like, you don't want someone coming in and going, listen, I'll back you, but I want my buddy to play your best friend. Or, I want control over the editing, or, you got to be careful what type of price tag that they're asking for in return.
What they're going to ask of you. And then you have to decide, what am I willing to give up to make this movie too?
It's true. A lot of writers, they'll sell the script to, let's say, Disney, and they'll buy it for $100,000, and that's a big check, but it sits on the shelf, never gets made.
Yeah,
it's sad, that person spent months, maybe years, even working on this story, dreaming of it.
Right,
this gets put on the shelf to maybe made someday. But maybe not. That's but they got the check. But
they got the check. But sometimes,
but it's a very small check in comparison to what that check would be if you made the movie yourself.
Well, I was going to say, if they make the movie, even if they make some changes, and it's going to bring in big bucks, your $100,000 is peanuts compared to what they're going to make on that movie once they get their hands on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
you got to keep faith.
Yeah, the movie industry, it's a gamble, but I like to, I like rolling the dice. I think it's exciting, but I build my concepts around, I want to make audiences happy. We're making movies for audiences, right? So that's why I let this viral thing that millions of people took interest in inspire the story that I wrote.
Right.
Because I was like, people are interested in this. That's what people want to watch. I should create a fun story around this. They're saying they're interested in this. Millions of people, they're talking about it. That is a proven interest, and
a built-in fan base.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is.
I like taking these viral concepts and then turning it into being creative with it and turning it into a rom-com or an adventure film or whatever.
Any direction.
Inspire me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very smart move. I think it's a great concept, and with fingers crossed, it'll cross the right path and get out there because it needs to. And,
do you have other people giving you scripts for weird films at all? Or
yeah, I do. I get a lot of people reach out to me on LinkedIn, different artists who are creating for opportunity and do something in weird films where they want to be recognized. And right now I'm still in very much the building phase of it, but send me scripts. And the scripts I receive, people, I wish there were more positive, happy scripts that were sent my way, because I would love to take a look at that, because I do think that there's a lot of negative content out there. And I think in a world where there's a lot going on, I think often people turn on the TV to escape a fun world, positive world, within the screen. And I'm seeing less of that. So I'd like to really produce that kind of material at the moment. My short film that I have going around the film festival circuit, it's called Bird Poop. And it's been people love it. It's been a award-winning hit, really, more than I could have imagined. And it's a simple story about two people that meet when they get pooped on by a bird at the same time.
That's like the guy who did Man Baby.
Like it's super silly. And then we asked this question, what if it never stopped? And then on their first date, they continue to get pooped on by these animated birds. It's super fun. I got to send it to you guys.
Honestly, I think that probably happens more than you think. Especially in New York.
Angry Birds. You're I loved Angry Birds. I actually loved those animated movies. I thought they were so. I remember there was a time in my life where I was feeling really down. I watched the second Angry Birds movie, and it brought a tear to my eye. I was it was so awesome.
Well, you know what you're supposed to do when a bird poops on you? You're supposed to go buy a lottery ticket, and you're supposed to
make a wish.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, right. No, right? I did.
100 million. I can make this movie 3 times. 1, 2, and 3.
That would. It's funny this dichotomy, like the bird poop is this bad thing, I got pooped on by a bird, and then gross. But then we've also make a wish,
Yeah, right.
It's fun. Sometimes bad things happen, but it can lead to the next thing, and something can come from that. I'm not a believer in regrets because of that kind of thing. You get pooped on by a bird, and then you walk in, you get the lottery. And if I didn't get pooped on by the bird, I wouldn't have got the lottery ticket.
You wouldn't have taken the ticket. And
I go through that with my wife all the time. She's like, well, if you didn't do this, and if you would have did this, and if you didn't do this, and if you would have never met me.
It's true.
It's very true.
Your wife is completely right.
One thing. All I had to do is change one thing. I might not be here right now.
It's true. It's wild.
Where did you, Chase, where did you grow up?
So I grew up in New York City on the Upper West Side of Manhattan.
Okay.
And, so you're born and raised there. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a New Yorker.
It's true.
True New Yorker.
I love the Upper West Side. Where were we at about? Near the park or a little?
Yeah, I'm near Central Park. It was really my backyard in a lot of ways.
That's awesome.
So it's such an interesting place to grow up. I wouldn't want to grow up anywhere else. It is so wild, New York City.
It's very wild.
I do think it's a kind of it's a somewhat of a tight-knit community, but it's a small world of kids who've grown up in the city, especially in Manhattan. And it's not, there's a lot of people always moving in and out of New York City. A lot of people come here from, Kansas or LA or wherever, or all over
the world, really.
And they call New York home, in their 20s and 30s, and they make it their home. So it's interesting when you are born here, is naturally your home. And then you grow up, and then you kind of see that it's this amazing city of
metropolis. Yes.
Constant moving parts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Changes here, changes there. I used to live in Brooklyn for years. Now, Brooklyn, as you know, is a whole different planet. I mean, you have sections of Brooklyn. I mean, I would walk 5 blocks in any direction, and it was like you're in a new country.
It's true. It's really
very true.
Yeah.
But there's also places in Brooklyn that were like untouched since like the 1900s. Like when I used to live in Bensonhurst, and that was like predominantly off the boat Italian. It was just like 1920 when you went there. Like it just never changed.
Brooklyn is wild. I mean,
and the Hasidic neighborhoods, the Hasidic neighborhoods were the most interesting. I learned so much from them being around. It was just wild.
Yeah. There's this, I watched this YouTube video once where this guy, he tries to get food from every country in New York City, like go to a restaurant, and he like goes to like over 100. It's wild, how many.
Like, if you can't, you could probably damn come close.
Oh yeah, you can.
I mean, really close. I was shocked.
That's wild. But it's awesome.
I don't think too many people use their kitchens in New York because there's so many places you can get food from.
True. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. It's just everyone's stacked on each other.
Yeah.
It's wild. Like, and New York, it's just so crazy. People
I know,
always.
I'm in Jersey, so I don't go to New York that often, and I only drove there once, and that was enough for me to realize I would never do it again. So, either I take a car or I take the ferry or something over, but it's mainly like to go to the theater district or Carmine's or down to, Little Italy or go over to St. Pat's, something like that.
How fun is the San Gennaro Fair?
Excuse me?
San
Gennaro Fair?
I've been there once. I've only been there once, and they pinched my rear end about 100 times. I said, I'm never coming back.
I think it's so fun. Like,
but it's street, when they put everything out there, the street is so small that you're just like
they have a Ferris wheel. How did they get a Ferris wheel in Little?
I don't know.
They just made it happen.
They helicoptered it in.
Yeah.
The best thing is the food. I mean, you could smell it from 100 blocks away. Yeah. And you just come floating down like Bugs Bunny.
One time we went, because Chinatown is right next to Little Italy. So we all went to Chinatown to eat. And I think it cost us like $10 a person to eat in Chinatown. So now we go and walk into Little Italy. We're going to have dessert. So we stop at one of the restaurants to have dessert. It's like $50 a person just to have cake and coffee, God. It's like unbelievable. It's like, okay.
Oh man,
it's a great city. And your family too. Your family were New Yorkers as well?
Yeah, my mom was born in Brooklyn, and my dad on Long Island.
Oh, they're real New Yorkers.
Yes, Staten Island is a big component of my life. My dad, he runs a flooring business on Staten Island called Fox Floors. And yes, New York is.
You're very vested in New York.
Yeah, it's part of who I am, and I've kind of grown and become who I am in New York. So
did you get involved in theater early on, like high school, grammar school? Like you discovered that pretty quickly that was a passion?
I'm actually dyslexic. So I got into acting and theater because I was at this dyslexic school called Windward. And I struggled in math and English and really thinking I wasn't smart and I wasn't good at anything. So but then at one time I took this acting class in the 7th grade and I had a knack for it. I was just really like good at performing and it was kind of natural to me. And my drama teacher, Miss Hooper, she said, you should audition for the play. You'd be really great. And I did. And I played like this French director in the play, like that was the character. And I just kept going with it ever since. And it's been one of those things that I kind of I found something that I was really good at that showed me that I was capable of a lot,
Did the dyslexia hinder you in regards to script reading? Or were you able to kind of work through that before you got that far?
So many of my friends, like my friend Dylan is also dyslexic. And he's an actor as well. It's so interesting to see how us being both dyslexic, but we both kind of struggle with different things in some ways. I've read so many scripts for so long now that sometimes I like having a teleprompter here and I can read, and I can read kind of easily. But it's also something that people don't know about dyslexia. It's also an auditory disability. It's really like a decoding disability where the information doesn't always, it takes a second for people. Sometimes they need, to be reminded twice, or kind of the connection of words.
Okay.
It's complicated, but it's, for example, my dad is dyslexic, so it's a genetic thing.
Oh, all right. Okay.
And my dad and myself, someone will be talking to us, right? And we'll be, let's say I'm focused on my phone. I won't even hear that the person's talking to me, and he won't hear it either. And it's it's such an interesting phenomenon. Yeah.
It is.
But there's
so people have a perception that you're ignoring them when you're really not.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true.
Like, that rude boy didn't even ask me.
Like, why are you mad at me?
Yeah, really.
Chase Markoff thinks he is who he is. I said hi to him, and he just looked at his phone.
Yeah, but it did teach me that, like I failed a lot in my youth. So I'm comfortable with rejection, when it comes to acting.
Okay.
And, there's a lot of rejection in acting.
There is. Yes, you're right.
Once, and then you're super psyched. So that is really, I think it's created a good armor for me as an artist, that I can fail. Okay. And I think, don't we all failing is how we learn. At least that's how
that's just it. If you don't fail throughout your life, there's a lot of things that you're not going to learn. And you have to understand the concept too of, where do I go from here? How do I adjust myself, my life, my thinking, whatever, so you have to fail at things from time to time to understand how to move forward.
It's true.
That's what I think.
It's really true. And I think today in our society, everything is like, with Instagram and social media and AI, it's like everything could feel so perfect. But within the mix of it, everyone's making mistakes and failing and then getting back up. And I wish everyone was more comfortable with making mistakes. It's a good thing to make mistakes. You learn from it,
Well, you also get this, online, you get this perception that everybody's life is so badass. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
And you realize, no, it's not. You're just really good. You're just really good at posting a bunch of things that look really fun with a big smile on your face, but then you learn 6 months from now that they're getting divorced and their kids, you're like,
their life's not perfect. You're making
life.
mistakes just like the rest of us, You
have a false perception of what life is really, really like, because people paint this weird picture.
A nice
everything's
picture.
Perfect, and that they never fail, and that no one ever makes mistakes. I never hear about people talking about their mistakes. It's very rare where I hear content creators and things like that talking about mistakes, talking about failure, talking about, it's a lot of like smoke and mirrors.
Yes, you're right. I agree with you there. So, okay. So where are you dropping this content so that, because I'm going to put this on right before you do it. So I'm going to have my producer put it on right before you do it. So I'm going to be bringing attention to this for a full week ahead of time. So,
awesome. So we're going to be on Kickstarter. It's going to be called, our project is Area 51 Love Raid. And you'll find it.
I love that.
And Weird Films, we're building the website to be up at the moment. So we're kind of going to funnel people to the Kickstarter. There's going to be awesome rewards that people can get if they contribute to the Kickstarter. It's really exciting. You could be in the film. You could win merch from the film. You could meet me.
Wow.
All these are really exciting things that.
That's
so
great.
Is that I'm not familiar with Kickstarter. Is that Kickstarter.com or something? Or
so it's Kickstarter, Kickstarter.com. And you just, at the time when this episode releases, Area 51 Love Raid, it'll be up there. And if you don't see it up there, they can go to weirdfilms.com. And if you don't see it up there, then something's gone wrong.
Then something's wrong.
Go to my Instagram. At chase.markoff, and I'll be posting there if you want to get my acting projects, and I have a few things that are coming out, and so follow me there at Chase Markoff.
I filled out this whole form to be in Happy Gilmore, the second one, because they were filming down in Hoboken and stuff. I filled out this whole big form and stuff like that, and they sent this thing back to me, and they're like, "We'll be in touch." And I thought, "Ooh, could I really get into this?" I never heard another word again. I was like so disappointed.
That's your first rejection.
Leanne, you would have been great as an extra or featured extra in that. They could have given you a line.
You could have been like Adam Sandler's weird, crazy aunt.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
He goes to every one of his golf tournaments and heckles him.
Yeah, right. I love
I did
him.
like
He's
Happy
so
Gilmore
great.
too. That was, I mean, Happy Gilmore 1 was that was a real.
That was
so
great.
funny.
I know.
When he fist fought Bob
Adam
Barker, I was
Sandler
like, that was
in
the
and of
best.
himself is a great guy.
He's
So
really great.
yeah, he is.
For the first time I watched this his film Punch Drunk Love.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys seen that?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you got to watch it, Leanne. It's
okay.
It's a Paul Thomas Anderson film, and it's really a great Adam Sandler performance. I think it's one of
Drunk Love. Okay.
And is
it's good. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, really
all
great.
right.
Yeah. Adam Sandler.
Okay.
Amazing talent. I really look up to that guy. He's
yeah.
He's a hero.
But between stand up, SNL, his writing, his acting,
and every Christmas they put his song on, which is hysterical. All I do is laugh, laugh. I mean, I could hear that song every day and still laugh at the whole thing. You know, I mean, like it's
super. People love him. He's so funny,
and he's done a lot of good rom-com stuff.
Yeah, so silly. And I love one thing I love about his films and Happy Madison. You know, their films. I feel like they don't take everything too seriously. It's they're like, it's a movie, so it's fun, and we can do
exactly. Let's just have fun with it. You know,
and I think that's so fun and cool. You know, like they kind of it's wacky.
He's so loyal to all his friends, and he just keeps bringing them back into his movies, which is really great.
Cool. That is really cool. I like to do that same thing.
Well, they just have great chemistry together.
Yeah, they do.
And they've obviously spent a lot of time together, so they're very comfortable, and their timing is impeccable. And that's got to be probably one of the biggest joys ever, to do a feature film with all your best friends. And
really, that's going to be so much fun. Really,
it's so important to work with the team of friends who are positive and who are good to work with. You know,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, Chase. Well, we're going to be saying goodbye. And it was wonderful to have you on the show. And I can't wait to have this out there and be putting out my own social media about you, because I'm really excited for you. And I hope to God that, and I'm going to go on and I'm going to, you know, I've never heard of this before, you know, but I'm going to go on there. So I'm excited for you. I am so excited for you. And I hope it works out, you know, I really do.
This was an awesome conversation. I really love talking with you guys. And I'll be in touch, Leanne, because my film Bird Poop is going to be playing in New Jersey at a few.
Okay.
Awesome.
We filmed it actually. So I'll keep you posted. You should totally come out.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I will.
Yeah. Okay, if you do, you got to get me a Bird Poop t-shirt.
Okay.
Oh, I haven't.
That's one screaming out for merchandise.
So we are
Chase, man, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
And you can find us online. And there's two organizations that we're very fond of, and that's St. Jude's Children's Hospital and breast cancer. So if you go on our site, you'll see a big purple button, and you can press that and make donations. And of course, we have merch, because who doesn't have merch in this world today? So we have merch. We have a QR code which will be on this episode, and you can go on there and take a look at a lot of things. And I am an author too, so I have a book in the blink of my eye, and I'm promoting my book. So we're just going to get it out there, Chase. And if you ever want to read it, go ahead and go.
I'm going to order it. I'm going to order it. Wow.
Okay.
This is amazing. I really I love everything that you guys are doing, and
you know, it is amazing.
People that are just we're all in the same boat, trying to make things happen.
Yeah.
Trying to be successful, trying to make your dreams come true, and all the passions that you have. And you shared that candidly, you know, with us today, and very impressive. Wonderful. And I have faith in you. I'm sure you have faith in yourself.
We're going to make our dreams come true. That's what my buddy Adam always says.
And like I always say, laughter is the best medicine. So there you go. Gotta laugh. Everybody's gotta laugh.
Yeah.
Chase,
all right.
Be safe and be well.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
We'll talk soon.
No problem.
Talk soon. Bye, guys.